Have you ever noticed that the more you understand the world, the harder it is to feel at home in it? That the deeper your thoughts go, the shallower the conversations around you seem? If you felt this, you're not alone, and no, you're not imagining it. There's a silent burden that comes with thinking too deeply, and it's not just emotional, it's philosophical, biological, and social. Throughout history, thinkers have walked this lonely path, not because they were arrogant or antisocial, but because they saw things others refused to see. From Nietzsche to Kierkegaard, from Hypatia to Simone Weil, those who questioned, who challenged, who reflected, were often met not with applause, but with silence, mockery, or even violence. Why? Because when you think deeply, you don't just explore new ideas, you expose old illusions. And for many, that's unbearable. Let's unpack why. When someone lifts more weight than you at the gym, you don't feel threatened. You might even feel inspired. If someone drives a nicer car, you might be envious, but it's rarely personal. But when you meet someone who thinks more clearly, more critically, more profoundly, it's different. Why? Because unlike wealth or strength, intelligence is intimate. It touches your identity, your beliefs, your reality. And when someone starts asking the questions you've been avoiding, questions about meaning, truth, or existence, it can feel like they're not just challenging your ideas, they're challenging you. This reaction is deeply human. Psychologists refer to something called cognitive dissonance, a mental discomfort we feel when our beliefs are contradicted. When a deep thinker enters the room, they don't even need to speak. Their presence alone can reflect what others are trying not to confront. This is what makes intelligence both powerful and isolating. In a world addicted to certainty, deep thinking is dangerous because it introduces doubt, and people don't like doubt. They prefer clarity, even if it's false. That's why in social settings, charisma is often valued more than truth. People gravitate toward those who sound confident, not necessarily those who are correct. This explains why those who repeat comforting slogans often gain more influence than those who ask uncomfortable questions. Social media makes this worse. Platforms reward quick takes, hot opinions, and viral simplicity. But deep thought doesn't fit neatly into 15-second clips. And so, the deeper voices get drowned out. Not because they're wrong, but because they're not optimized for speed. Here's the irony. As society becomes more connected, deep thinkers often feel more isolated. It's not because they lack people around them. It's because they crave connection of a different kind. Not just interaction, but intellectual resonance. This is why they often retreat into books, into thought, into solitude. Philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer once said, "The more intelligent a person is, the more they tend to be unsociable, not because they despise others, but because most of what society values, status, image, approval, feels hollow. They see behind the curtain, and once you do, you can't unsee it." But here's the question. Does deep thinking have to lead to isolation? Not necessarily. Schopenhauer himself believed that solitude, when embraced consciously, can become a strength, a sanctuary, a space for clarity and creation. He also urged deep thinkers to be wise about how they engage with the world. Not every mind is ready for every idea, and that's okay. The point isn't to convince everyone, it's to find the few who understand. So if you've felt the weight of your own thoughts, if you've struggled to fit into a world that feels obsessed with the shallow, remember this: you're not broken. You're just tuned to a different frequency. And while that might make you feel distant from the crowd, it also means you have the rare gift of seeing what others miss. Use it wisely. Speak when it matters. Stay silent when it doesn't. And never trade depth for acceptance. In the end, the world may not always reward deep thinking, but it desperately needs it.